Make sure that you check us out at 16levels.com. We have a myriad of things going on over there. We have the masterclass for the MPC Live 3 right now. And if you are a member over there at 16levels.com, you get access to these videos along with a full-on 2-hour course. So I'm making sure that you guys know that. Thank you so much for your ongoing support at 16levels.com. And on this channel today, we're going to talk about how to use hardware with your MPC Live 3, as it has a multitude of different ways to do so. So let's talk about how would you set this up. The main thing that you need to do is just go into a new project. This isn't required if you already have your MPC ready to go, but we need to press the menu button that is right here. The next thing we want to do is observe the preferences. So let's go into preferences. It's at the bottom right side of your touchscreen. So let's go ahead and do that again. You can pause anytime in this video if you have any problems. But in the main menu, you'll see a preference tab right over here at the bottom right part of the screen. From that part of the screen, we need to go and enter the MIDI and sync options. So what I need you to do is pause the screen and make a note of all of the features that are on the screen that are activated. So it's important that you have all of your tracks activated. The next thing we're going to do is just go over here, and then you can see MPC A and B, and that's talking about the A and B size of your USB. And then you also have the USB MIDI ports 1 and 2. Make sure that those are synced. Enable MIDI ports when discovered so that you can find whatever you have hooked up to your MPC as hardware, and then you can choose the receive as well. So from the receive end of it, you can change it to Ableton Link, because this can sync with Ableton Link, granted that you have set it up inside of your MPC. And what I'm talking about is the Wi-Fi. You can set that up so it can go with your computer. MIDI clock is important as well when you want to clock something either externally or internally. So externally, you're talking about an external source clock from a MIDI device, some type of sound module, or even a drum machine. So you can set that up. You have MIDI time code. I don't use that. And then, of course, we already went over the fact that you have Ableton Link. You can also turn it off just in case. And you also want to have send MIDI clock on, just when you want to send the MIDI clock of the MPC to your hardware device. You want to make sure that you send MMC. So that needs to be checked. And that's basically about it. Also, if you haven't set up your Wi-Fi, then you need to set up your Wi-Fi now so that you can be able to sync and use network MIDI for any other devices and Ableton Live with your computer. On the back of the MPC Live 3, you'll see that you have 2 MIDI outs and 2 MIDI in. How it works is this. If you have anything that you want to control with your MPC, then you want to send the MIDI out of your MPC into the hardware that you are using. And you can do it 2 times because you can select either A or B. So that means that's 2 devices that you can control at once. More about that later. If you want to send MIDI into the MPC and use clock from a device like a drum machine or whatever the case may be, then you can send it in the MIDI out of the hardware into the MIDI in of the device that you're choosing to use. Also, you can use the USB hub if your device that you're using has a USB hub to control MIDI. It can send MIDI into the MPC or out of the MPC via the USB hubs right here. And it's also important to know that you can use a USB hub separately and use multiple devices so that you can have multi-timbral MIDI. Last but not least, we have a USB Type-C port on the MPC Live 3. And this USB Type-C can send MIDI out and MIDI in, and also can receive audio and send audio to a device, given that it has USB Type-C audio or multiple outs or multiple ins. Last but not least, if you cannot use the Type-C with the device that you are wanting to control with MIDI, you need to have sound somehow. So you can use these XLR 1/4-inch combo jacks right here in the back. You can use either one of them or both of them. If you use both of them, you'll have a stereo input. If you use one, then it will be mono. The hardware that we're using today was provided by Donner, so shout out to Donner. The link will be in the description box. It is a monophonic analog synthesizer, the Essential L1, which is similar to the SH101 made by Roland. The reason why I chose this unit because it has a myriad of connections on the back that will suit the MPC Live 3. The main one being the USB Type-C, where I want to find out if it sends audio this way as well. And it has the MIDI out and MIDI in. Now you'll notice that the MIDI out and MIDI in are different than the MIDI in and MIDI out on the back of the MPC Live 3. And that's because it needs one of these right here. And what this does is connect inside of these little ports. And then you can use your MIDI in or MIDI out, depending on how many of these adapters that you have. We only need one in this instance, and that's one into the MIDI in. We'll plug it into the MIDI in. And then you'll see it has a main out, which is the audio out, which we will plug into one of those audio ins on the back of the MPC Live 3. Just as a reminder, I just want to show you this device right here, which is the vocal drum. Sometimes they only have MIDI in, so it just depends on the sound module or drum machine that you're working with. All you need is a MIDI in to use this unit right here anyway, so you can send a clock to it, and you can also sync in and sync out, but we'll leave that for another video. It is also important to know that you will need what you call MIDI cables to use some hardware, and I'll have a link in the description box so you can find a pair that is at a decent price to connect to your MPC and to your hardware device. Let's go ahead and connect this to the synthesizer, and then we'll connect it to the MPC Live 3. Next, we'll connect an audio cable to the synthesizer. Then we'll take the same audio cable and connect it to the back of the MPC. If you didn't notice, those audio cables had 1/4-inch jacks. Most importantly, we need to turn this synthesizer on. Now let's talk about setting up a MIDI and audio track on the MPC. So the first thing you need to do is go to the bottom left side of your screen and hit New Track, then select MIDI. And then from here, you will go to your MIDI output. And then this time you will select your MPC-A, which correlates with the MPC-A's MIDI out. You can also change the MIDI output channel if you want to set up multiple instances of a synthesizer. As long as it's multi-timbral, you can control multiple channels. The next thing I want to do is set this up, which is the audio track. And all you have to do is go to the bottom left side of your screen, go to New Track, then audio. So from this side of the screen, you see input right here, and then you can click down and select your other inputs as well. So you have access to every last one of your inputs on here, but you want to select the right one. In this instance, I believe it would be input 1. You need to make sure that you have the volume up on your synthesizer. Now let's go back to the audio track, because if you still don't hear any sound, it means that you need to set up your monitor. So it is off by default. You can set it to in or auto and merge. So let's go ahead and do in so that we know we're monitoring in. And to control the synthesizer, we need to go back to the MIDI channel. And if you still can't hear audio, then you need to press and hold Shift and press the mixer button, which brings you into the inputs. You will be greeted on the screen and it will show you which one is active right here. And by default, it is set to none. You can also go over here to the bottom part of your screen, the bottom left side, and do link so that you see 1 and 2. And then you can set up your combo jacks right there. After everything is said and done, then you can go back to main and proceed with the process of playing with your synthesizer. And you should be able to go and play with it. No diddy. Now I have it plugged up to this hardware via Type-C into the Type-A of the MPC Live 3. And what we can do from here is change the MIDI settings. And you will see that you have that device is recognized right over here. So it says Donner L1 MIDI. And then you select that. You will notice a little bit of brown noise in the background, or grounding noise, but it works perfectly fine. And there's no delay or anything like that. And that's through the Type-C to USB Type-A on the MPC. So Type-C on the unit to Type-A. And you could be Type-A to Type-A as well. It just depends on whatever hardware you're using. There's one more topic to cover, and that is how do you record your synth into your MPC. Keep in mind that you can set up pad performance on here, and I have mine to an E minor right now for the track that I'm about to do. And you can always play with what you got going on right here on your synthesizer in real time before you record it in. Give it a little bit more volume. Just mess with the envelopes and stuff. And now we'll go over here to the next track, and you see that you have everything set up audio wise, and we'll just stop it and then press record and play start, and it should record it in. And you can record automation and stuff like that. To hear everything back, just hit overdub, turn monitoring off, and then now I'll turn off the synthesizer so you don't have to worry about a thing. And everything is recorded in there. You're good to go. And as an added bonus, of course, if you want to mess with this stuff, you can always go into sample edit and bring it up. If you want to normalize and all this other things that you would do in MPC, you can do that right there. I also want to keep in mind that you don't necessarily have to do sample edit. You can just click on the track itself, and then it will present itself in the browser. And all you have to do from there is select it. So select your stuff. And then from here, you'll see warp. That warp will be on. You can maximize the loudness from here, or whatever you want to call it, and normalize it. It's maybe not normalized, but you can make it louder. You can add phase if there's a little bit of a pop at the very beginning. And let me know how you feel about this video. I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comment section, and all the members over there at 16levels.com. Hopefully this was a good little extra that everybody got to. And thanks to the people over there at 16 Levels, because they make these videos possible to happen. If you want to support 16levels.com or just want to get a masterclass or whatnot, just know 2-hour course that won't be released fully, and you're not going to get cheated. And then you're going to get stuff before it hits YouTube. And yeah, I appreciate everybody that has been a part of it. Love the synthesizer from Donner. It was a little bit of a headache at first, but I'm getting the grips of it, and it will get more use